Gertrude, and this is my final portfolio. If you see me glancing down here, I'm just looking at some notes real quick. So my intentions with this portfolio are to display what my passions are, what my interests are, and how that connects to what I plan to do in my future career goals and what those are exactly. I'd say my intended audience are people alike to me. I would also say my intended audience is um, others that might be looking to provide opportunities for young academics in international affairs and also just in general. Um, and I want people to understand that what I what I study and what I do for me, it's something that is still growing and still changing. And I acknowledge that in here several times that while I might not have this concrete plan, um, I'm still an active learner and I still have goals and I still do want to accomplish a lot. So that's kind of the impression that I want to leave on people is that I am hopeful for my future endeavors. So this is the introduction page. I just did a little thing with my name here. And then scrolling down, this is just a picture of me and my mom at a concert because we love music. And so I thought that was a good thing to include. I did a little about me section. I'm a rising junior at OSU. I recently transferred from George Washington this past winter. I'm studying international affairs, concentration, peace, and conflict studies, and I'm also a double major in French. I'm from Canton, Ohio, and yeah, that's pretty much this about me here. I've included several quotes throughout this portfolio that I feel demonstrate who I am as a learner and what I really stand for. And so, as someone that likes to write creatively and kind of feels like, is there nothing left for me to say that hasn't already been said? I really live by this quote that anything worth saying is worth repeating because that gives me hope for creating something of my own. So, as I kind of stated earlier, this portfolio is a reflection of my interests and goals. It's an attempt to recognize what matters to me in my future career, and kind of what I expressed earlier. It's difficult to watch the world of international affairs kind of crumble around you as you struggle for internship opportunities or whatever. And regardless of how you feel about the politics of the realm, um, I don't really care because what is happening is terrible to our country. And it is disheartening to see. But despite that, I want to be involved in my community. I want to encourage others to be involved. And that's kind of the ending sentiment here. Moving on to the connecting what matters portion. So I just kind of repeat here that I'm international affairs, the Francophone world, women's leadership. Did a little thing of here. Um, I talk about how I am learning to establish career goals and kind of how I always second guess myself and rely on others' advice always. Um, I want to I want to make these decisions on my own and I want to feel confident in what I decide. I'm really interested in French existentialism. So Jean-Paul Sartre, very famous French existentialist, that's what this quote is. Existence precedes essence. L'existence précède l'essence. Um, and I thought it was good to include because yeah. I talk a little bit about a practical internship I had last fall in DC. I was research assistant to this nonprofit called the Veterans Campaign. They facilitate veterans to hold political office, and I found it very personal and engaging. I have connections to veterans and just in my family, and so I found that this was something that this is an experience that is forming my existence, as I said. Um, so then I talk a bit more about Sartre, and I talk about a my classics class that I just took last semester that I really enjoyed, and the creative dialogue that I created. It's based on Huis Clos, or No Exit by Sartre. And it takes into dialogue Seneca, Audre Lorde, and myself in Sartre's depiction of hell. And I kind of include things from Seneca and Lorde's writings to facilitate what they are saying. This was a really cool creative project for me. I was able to view this file earlier, so I'm uncertain why that is like that, but let me know if you cannot view any of the assets. So then I talk a bit about future endeavors, how I want to live in a city, how moving has kind of been a little scary for me, but I think this dialogue is a great example of kind of where I want my interests to steer. And next steps, I speak on the fact that I'm always a learner and I want to step out of my shell again, but I hope to one day be ahead of the life I feel running past me. So moving on. This is the connecting to communities. Once again, I restate my interest as a student. I believe this is a little picture here. Yeah, this is just the picture. I speak on the fact that I'd love to work with an IGO, an intergovernmental organization, or an NGO, non-governmental organization. These organizations, though they are not government related, or one of them isn't, they have a lot of power with their donors and they have a lot of power to enact change, though they don't always do so. I think it's a really good uh, it's a good statement and a good aspiration, and I want to be a part of something good at the end of the day. I speak on that I'm new to Columbus and I've yet to find my niche, but I'd love to become involved with a French organization just to facilitate this love. I bring up this Peace Tool paper, and once again, you cannot see this asset, so please, any feedback, let me know if you can or cannot see these. I wrote this paper for my Peace Studies class on my involvement with the encampments for Palestinian liberation on GW's campus. And I feel this really encapsulates how I feel about protesting and also standing for your community and standing for what you believe in. And then this is one of my favorite quotes as of recent from Simone de Beauvoir. One is not born, but becomes a woman. On ne naît pas femme, on le devient. So I just kind of conclude that I want to explore new places and get myself out of my comfort zone. Moving on, I put a little David Bowie inspired title because I love David Bowie and I love music. I speak on some forks in the road that I've experienced. When I left for DC, I kind of set out and I was like, I want just anything but my home. And what I found is that I loved DC and I loved the way the city moved together and you could exist within it and be so small but feel so big. But I couldn't stay there and I knew I couldn't stay there. And so transferring to Ohio State felt kind of sudden, but it's something that I really took a long time to mull over. But yeah, I speak on my difficulties with disability support services when I was temporarily disabled. This experience really impacted my decision to transfer, and I'm glad I did so. Okay, yeah, you can view this one. This is a leadership portfolio I made for my women's leadership program, like end of the year thing. So another portfolio thing. I speak on founding a student organization for poetry and just my experience with that and all of the above. So now I know that what I see clearly now that all of what is grand cannot come without consequences and detours. Consequence and detours. Aren't I the literate? I'm just saying that I will take the moment to move forward and accept change. And so in this next step section, I speak on that I have immense passion, but I don't have the exact direction yet. But I know that my uncertainties are not my weakness, and they are fuel that keeps my passion burning. And I've yet to discover exactly what I want to do, but that is not for lack of trying. And I know this portfolio will one day serve as a moment in time. I also have some contact information here. I just put my personal email, school email, LinkedIn, and Handshake. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm going to start trying to get a lot of LinkedIn followers because I think that's kind of a funny pastime in a way. So let me check. Yeah, I am appreciative of any type of feedback if something is on